What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at again with another episode of the Young Guns podcast. It's been about a whole month since I did this. Y'all know KB, he be working for the post office. It's probably their busiest time of the year right now. So I was like, let me restart it up, get it revamped for when, he is ready to go. But I'll have a couple of guest hosts on, and you guys all know who this guy is. He is the author, the singer, the creator of Four Big Guys and Lemon Pepper Chicken Wings. It's Ashton from the Get Back with Ashton. And before I let him go, first of all, shout out to Sober Party. Shout out to Satvik. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that in the chat. Levance as well. C Bands. Guys, let me know if there's any audio issues, because I am having an audio issue on my end. Usually, when I hit my things right here, you would be able to hear the sound effect. I have no idea if you guys could hear the sound effects, so just let me know if you could hear the sound effects. In fact, I'm going to try and do it right now. Let me see. Subscribers, Rumble subscribers, oh, my bad. Instagram followers, it's Kush. Back at again. I have no idea. Anyway, y'all going to have to let me know if I hear the sound effects, because I can't tell. I'm not sure what the problem is. It is what it is. Shout out to Authentic in the chat. We got Edward in here as well. Lou Wan. How y'all doing? Yo, Authentic, I'm not sure. I think something we did with Streamlabs, I can't hear my sound effects anymore. I'm going to have to try to fix that. But Ash, listen, man. You recently did a rebranding of your channel and whatnot. Tell the people about it, what they could expect and all that from it now.
Yeah, man. So as some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know, if you know me personally, I go to college, finishing my second year, heading into my third. I'm not gonna tell you where because you don't even know my government, but but yeah. So my degree is in journalism, multimedia journalism, that is, and I decided to rebrand it to have people, when I apply for like internships and stuff or other things, have people something reliable to look at. So I was formerly known as Ash Money. Does I do something a little professional? I have a
Oh, hold up. They say they can't hear you. Hold up. At least Luann says she can't hear you. Speak again. Let me make sure. Go ahead,
yo
speak. It
yo.
shows that his audio is being captured. Anybody else? Somebody else let me know. Can y'all hear Ash? Ash, just say, okay.
My
Oh,
mic is a
it's just that
little.
your mic is low. Okay, let me turn up your mic. My bad. I could turn up your mic. That's no problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I guess I would just I'll repeat it for Luann. Um, basically, um, I go to college. I'm going into my third year of college. I was previously known as Ash Money Records. Had an entertainment channel and a sports channel. But heading into my third year, typically for a lot of people, that's when you apply for internships and stuff like that. So I decided to switch something. This is still very low.
So I have
Maybe
you
up.
all the way up to 100. I can try in StreamYard to turn your volume up. They're going to see that for a second because I am capturing StreamYard. If I go in here, oh no, that's my own.
Hold
I
on.
think if I click here.
You think I could turn it up like on my own?
I just saw you turn it up. Turn it up. Just turn it all the way up and let's see how that sounds.
Yo yo yo.
Sounds the same to me. Just make sure that blue thing is all the way up is all I could say, I guess.
Okay.
But go ahead.
All right. I guess I'll just wait for you all to say before I repeat myself and waste my words.
Is it all the way up in StreamYard?
Yeah.
Is there a way to turn up gain on your mic or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, not much we could do right there, I guess. Go ahead, go ahead.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So I rebranded my channel. I'm just gonna keep it at that. I rebranded my channel to the Give Back, with Ashton. It's gonna be a sports show that I'm gonna be doing every. It's gonna be a sports show that I'm doing every week. At least once. I'm gonna have a lot of some people come on like every other week. I'm not just gonna be Giants centered. It's going to be NFL based. And probably some basketball. I'll probably get into a little bit of basketball with the playoffs coming in. But yeah, it's gonna be sports based, and then I'm starting a podcast with my collegiate friend, Tyler. His name's Tyler. We're gonna be doing a podcast for topics that you don't typically see around the sports world. Like topics involving music, movies, shows, celebrities, stuff like that. Um, and that will be on my other channel. I haven't had it set up yet, but we will be starting in about February. So yeah. So if like I said, I don't have any content on my channel right now. For those who know me before, we you saw that I did have some content. That is all white clean. It's a full rebrand, like the Giants should do, a full clean slate, and we're gonna be doing that starting this week.
I see
So
you think you're slick with the segue into like the Giants should do. We gonna get to that. Don't worry about it. Don't get too excited. But yeah, guys, as Ash said, go ahead check him out. He was and his channel was formerly known as Ash Money Sports Records, or was it Sports Topics? One out of the two.
is I had two channels, so I had
Yeah.
Ash Money Records Entertainment and then Ash Money Records Sports Topics.
Yeah. So, but now is to get back with Ash Money. His links are down below. Definitely check him out. To a couple people in the chat asking, well, first of all, shout out to I see Nerding Out Sports, Luan, Edward, and then Edward Squires. We got two Edwards in here. Cowboy X Factor in here as well. He says, "Hi Hub, nice to see Ash here, but where's KB? Miss both of y'all playing Madden. Me and KB will play Madden again on the channel. But like I was saying earlier, I guess I'll repeat it. KB is part post office, so he's very busy during like winter months. A lot of it has to do with holidays, and even then, a little bit into January, he's gonna be very busy. Where it's just that he won't have time to do the stream and the podcast. So what I'm doing is starting this week, I'm gonna have a couple guest hosts on. As you guys can see, Ash is the first guest host. I already have 3 other ones lined up for the next 3 weeks. One of them is a person that you guys should know very well. She's been on the channel before, Lauren from She Got Sports. Another one being Nate from Nate Talks Football. Everybody knows Nate. And then I have a guy from Twitter that I've connected with. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know him, but I was recently on his channel that he's going to repay the favor and come back over here as well. But since you led the, I say, the segue, Ash, what happened to your camera there, my boy?
Um, it's a little connection issue.
Oh,
So I
okay,
don't want
bet.
it for it to be cut up.
So since you basically brought it up and you see Joe Judge here, if you're watching the stream, he's right next to you. He's screaming at you actually, or he's screaming at the audience. I can't tell which one.
Wow, what did I do?
I don't know, man. You just existed. But it is week 18 before we get straight into the clean sweep. Are you even worried about this game? Are you even thinking about this game? Or are you just like you're just all in off season, you're done with this season mode?
Listen, I am fully in draft mode. I've been in draft mode for the past couple of weeks. Um, Basically, like I've said previous times, I've been checked out of the Giants season ever since the speculation came out that Daniel Jones was going to be out for the rest of the year. Um, and especially with Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm, um, that just put the icing on the cake there. Um, but yeah, this game, I'm actually kind of excited to see what this game does because my prediction, I feel like if we have a repeat performance like the past couple of weeks, I think Joe Judge is gone, right? But if somehow we just perform better, and I just have a weird feeling that we'll perform just a slight bit better just to save Joe Judge's job. Um, I just have a weird feeling. So I just want to see how we look. I don't know if you saw there was like a tweet of a report that Joe Judge or it was saying like Giants fans need to hope for the worst possible thing to happen uh for
Yeah,
Joe
I think
Judge
that
to be
was from
gone.
the Big Blue United podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, so if you want Joe Judge gone, basically just, work expect a blowout. Root for a blowout. Like I said, I put on Twitter, I wrote like a mini tweet letter to the Washington football team. And I was saying, play that clip of Joe Judge, saying that we aren't an organization. You don't see us fighting on the sidelines. Just play that all week and expose Joe Judge for what he truly is this
He
Sunday.
gave them what you
So
call bulletin board material. Like if it was a
yeah,
physical thing, would have been up on the bulletin board all week.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I would want us to you know I would want us to fire him. That's just where I'm at, and especially if you get a GM, you don't you don't turn down a GM just because he doesn't want to work with Judge. That's something that John Mara and the Giants have been, have been guilty of doing these past couple of years, and those decisions really have set this franchise back. So you got to change your ways, and if you have a GM, like if you get somebody like a Ed Dodds who comes in and he wants to inherit Judge, fine. But if you have somebody like Ed Dodds again, you know, um, you do not deny him the job just because he doesn't want to work with Judge, and especially if there's a growing rumor that Jim Harbaugh is interested in the Giants' job.
Mm.
You do not. You do not. I mean that just ends the debate right there, in my opinion.
All right, so before we get into the Jim Harbaugh stuff, right? I see Timothy in here as well. I'm guessing still connection issues. It's fine. So here's my question to you. Okay, we were led to believe for basically most of the season that Judge would be safe, right? That's what most reports said. That's what anything from the inside, we barely get any information from the inside of the Giants organization, led us to believe. So what makes you believe that there's even a chance that he could be gone, Ash? You say if we perform terribly, if for most of the season we're like he's safe. Was it that press conference where he seemed desperate, or was it something else?
Well, I'll just put it like this. I don't know for sure what they are. I think for
Yeah,
John
but I'm saying
Mara.
to you, what changed?
Oh, for
Because
me,
let's be honest, all Giants fans thought he was going to be safe, right? So something had to
yeah.
change for you to even have the thoughts you're having right now.
Well, if you look around the league, and this is something that I've been repeating for weeks, right? If you look around the league, I get it. We our offensive line is bad. I get it. We have injuries, but I feel like a lot of people act like we are the only team in the league that are dealing with the same issues.
I will say
Look,
this though, because I agree with you on the offensive line part, but I will say, and I'm not even a Joe Judge defender, so I don't want you or anybody else calling me that. I've been very
oh no,
objective
no,
with this man, right? But I will
mhm.
say we've had probably the most injuries in the NFL, right? I think the Ravens are probably the only other team that rivals us. But is it even fair to compare the Giants right now to the Ravens, a stable organization and knows what they're doing? Like, you get where I'm going with this, right? We
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
so many players early on. What I will say, and I'm not, it's just something to put forward there out there. What isn't excusable at all, though, is the just how we've been prepared or lack of preparation from the
And
team.
that's what I was gonna get in. Um, yeah, I get what you're saying about the injuries. We have definitely, and
At
a
one
good
point, bro,
thing
I
is,
remember making a video, bro, where I counted, and I think it was like 15 or something. I was like, Jesus,
yeah,
this is ridiculous.
yeah, and at one time, like our depth isn't as good as some team like the Ravens. It isn't as good as a team like the Colts or the Titans.
So, like, who do
But
you blame for that, though? Is that not more Gettleman than Judge, or is it a combination?
I feel like it's a combination because if you look at what Joe Judge inherited, you inherited a team that hasn't had good offensive line depth in literally over 10 years, right? That's what you inherited when you came into this team. So, and really, like Diggy said, we've said this on a lot of times, to not address the offensive line and to rely on veterans. We saw that report about them getting wanting to bring in Russell Okung, right? But there's a reason why people like us, right? Like how people like even in the media, right, who have jobs and get paid to cover this team. There's a reason why they are in the position where they are, and there's a reason why the head coaches get paid to do their jobs as general managers. You don't just look at, talent perspective. You look at, what can go right and what can go wrong. And what I mean by that is injuries, all that stuff. So for you to rely your offensive line on depth, or your offensive line depth on veterans, people who have been let go by teams like Joe Looney and what's the other person's name? The tackle. Um I forgot his name. Um yes, I think he played for like the Texans or something.
Cunningham, I think
Um
it was. No, it wasn't Cunningham, was it?
Zach Fulton.
Zach
I
Fulton.
think.
Yeah, I was thinking. Oh, I don't know why I was thinking Cunningham, but yeah,
But
Fulton.
but you like players like that, and for you to not like try to supplement a thing of young offensive line depth at all, not even spend one pick in
But no, no,
the
no, no,
draft.
no, Ash. I'm gonna try and keep you a little, what you call here, consistent, because you were saying it's a combo. It's a
What do
combo
you mean?
between Gelman and Judge, right? It sounds like you're
Yeah,
putting
I mean,
all of it on Judge right
no,
now.
I'm not putting it all on Judge. I
Yeah.
am still talking with Gettleman, but this I'm talking about Judge right now because we all know Gettleman is out of a job. We all know
Hmm.
he's not coming back next year. The debate is it was Joe Judge. So my thing is, if you are looking not only for this season, but you're looking towards the future, and you're looking to have a slate of years here, right? Shouldn't you try to supplement this team with players for depth? I mean, could you? I'll listen. I'll say I was wrong. I was not, and Hub, you remember, I was not one of the players that wanted to take Rashawn Slater with the first round pick. I either wanted Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, or Micah Parsons.
Me too. I wanted Devontae or Waddle really badly.
I didn't want Rashawn Slater, but I was one of the first to say that if you do not take an offensive line with that first pick, and I said that an edge that they fell in love with was going to fall to that second round, and they were going to take an edge. I was like, you better take an offensive lineman in that third round or rounds later. Just
And they
with
took
depth.
0.
They took 0. The same thing that happened when DJ needed weapons and we went a whole draft without drafting a single receiver, right? And you spend 3 picks on offensive linemen in that draft, right? So that's kind of like my biggest issue with Joe Judge.
Hmm.
And then, like I said, there's a lot of
So
things
wait,
that
wait.
Joe.
I'm gonna stop you real quick because before you
Yeah,
go into it, I still want to stick on this topic real quick. But first, there's a couple people in the chat, right? So shout out to Bark Nasty. What up, Bark? How you doing? He says he's gonna be at the game. I'm gonna be at the game as well. Ash, are you still coming up or no?
I had some things come up with work and scheduling and stuff. So I'm not gonna be able to come to the game. It
Hmm.
wasn't getting the ticket; it was just getting my transportation up there. And I didn't want to pay for like a flight or anything.
Yeah, that would have
So,
been a lot of money.
and then a Uber from
Wait,
the
but Pest
flight
is
or
coming
whatever.
though. You couldn't get in with Pest.
I didn't try. I didn't try.
I,
But
all I'm gonna
yeah,
say is maybe do a last ditch effort because Pest is coming up. I know that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, but hey,
But
if it changes, let me know. But yeah, the whole point was I was gonna say if anybody's going to the game, drop a 100 emoji in the chat right now. Listen, the fun part of the game is gonna be before the game, honestly, at this point. So hey,
yeah.
yo, Ash, if you get through a Pest, bro, you better come up. That's all I'm gonna say, my man.
All right, I'll try to see. I'll try
Yeah,
to
I
see
mean,
because I do have a
Pest is a pretty cool dude too.
yeah.
Obviously, I can't speak for him, but I'll
I
definitely
do
say hit his line.
I do have a shift on Sunday.
Hmm.
So if it's just about me getting my shift covered. So, but yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then
This
also, Edwards said what changed was an embarrassing blowout to the Bears, media bashing the Giants, and Mara listens to the media. GM and head coach timelines align now, which obviously is something we all want to avoid, right? If you kind of don't want to fall into the cycle that we've beaten to a dead horse at this point, talking about AB in here as well, along with Yuri and Giants Opinion Sports, Ligma, Ian, and Kevin. Hey, Ian and Kevin are going to be in there. That's what's up, man. At the game. So before I get to any questions from the chat, the one thing I want to ask you, right, is with Joe Judge and with assembling talent, is that your biggest gripe with him? One, and two, how badly do you want him going? Like honestly, how badly do you want
okay.
him going?
All right. So the first question,
Is it your biggest gripe
assembling
with him?
talent. It's not my biggest regret. I'll say that because he has brought him and Gettleman, like you said. Calvin says, "Come on, target, cover the do shit." But yeah, he has brought in him and Gettleman has brought in players like Aziz, McKinney, Andrew Thomas. Even though that article that leak said that that was what we could assume is a Jason Garrett
I'm glad
thing.
you brought up leaking articles because there's been a lot of stuff leaking on
Yeah.
Gettleman in the past couple of weeks, and that was kind of part of this question. That's on me. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to mention it. Where I was like, we've learned how belligerent and dominant Gettleman loves to be behind the
Yeah.
scenes. So when it comes to assembling talent, that makes me feel like he did have majority say of who got in
Yeah,
here because of just
but
like all the reports we've gotten on how bad it is, right?
yeah, it's just a weird thing because it's like again, I'm not in the franchise. I don't know what's
Hmm.
going on, so I can't really say. I can't praise Judge for Andrew Thomas or like Aziz McKinney, but then give him an excuse for Matt Pert and Shane Lemieux, right? Because
Well, don't give him. Wait. Repeat that statement. Hold up, I was confused about it. I
no,
repeat
I'm
the exact
saying
same.
because I see like a lot of, and I'm not pointing anybody out. I'm just saying I see like a lot of Giants fans, like they'll give them credit for, um, they'll give them credit for bringing in players like Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney, Aziz Ojolari, you know, but when the argument or when people we see Matt Pert not really doing that, or we see like arguments made against Matt Pert, Shane Lemieux,
So why can't we
um,
all just say what we think it is and that it's a collaborative effort? Even though I know that kind of
yeah,
goes against what I just said, where it's like all reports basically point to Gettleman like having an
that's
iron fist on
yeah.
things.
That's what I'm saying. It's a collaborative effort. My thing was more towards people that do give him praise and then give him excuses for like Mapper and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, but definitely bringing in talent, we definitely have been better than past years. There's no neglecting that. My thing with Joe Judge, and I would say my biggest thing is that the effort for me. Um, if you look around the league, right, the like even this past week, the Detroit Lions were still competitive. I mean, do we really think that we are that less talented than the Detroit Lions? I mean, they had Tim Boyle playing, and really they didn't miss a beat. A lot of teams like the Tennessee Titans, at one point they led the league in players on IR at one point, and they continue to beat playoff teams, Super Bowl contending teams like the Bills and the Rams, the Ravens. I mean, damn, they really could have beat the Rams this past Sunday. They didn't have Lamar. They don't have Marlon Humphrey. They lost Marcus Peters. They don't have J.K. Dobbins. They've really been on a cycle of running backs, bringing Devontae Foreman, or Devontae Freeman, that is, Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, a whole cycle of running backs, right? So I can't really, you know, I can't give Judge an excuse. I know it's bad, but you could at least we could at least show some effort. And I've continued to beat this dead horse by saying this. Head coaches make decisions that don't really require a good amount of talent. And there's little decisions like that where you can see that they have a good direction or if they could be potentially be a guy. And with Joe Judge, some of those small decisions that don't require talent, like waiting 14 weeks just to play Matt Pert, waiting 10 weeks to bench or Jimenez, time management and stuff like that. Little things like that where I just can't, I can't get behind Judge. I can't confidently say that Joe Judge is the man. Joe Judge is the head coach that I want to lead this team for the years to
But
come.
this is
I
what I'm
can't say that.
asking you, right? And by the way, shout out to Thrill Collins in here. Thrill, I hit you on Twitter. Like I said, I got you lined up for upcoming week if that works for you, because I got Ashton on tonight. So this leads me to back to the second question, right? Like, how much do you really want him gone?
Um, and oh, I don't think I said this, but I was on Mac Street. Shout out to Mac, the Giants fan. He had me
Hmm.
on his NFC East roundup right before this stream, and I was saying his job revolves around the new GM. Me, I wouldn't say I want him fired badly. But my thing is that if you bring in an outside GM, that kind of messes up the timeline in itself,
So
right?
if you bring in an outside GM though, and they just allow him to make the decision, and he keeps Judge, how would you feel?
I allow Judge to make the decisions.
No. I say they bring in the outside GM, and they basically give the outside GM general manager, like legit general manager duties and powers, right? And they're just like, hey, it's up to you if you want to keep him or not, and he keeps him. How do you feel?
I mean, I would just be like, all right. I mean, there's nothing more I can say.
Hmm.
But is that likely to me?
I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
no, it's not likely. I was listening to online Big Blue, his like little podcast. He said since the past couple years, since I think 2014, there have been 7 coaches that have gone through a GM change, and they've really fared out evenly, 7-7. I mean, not 14 coaches.
Hmm.
But the kind of like the record of how they fared was 7-7. So that's a chance you gotta take. And for me, if somebody like a Ed Dodge comes in here, which is the hot candidate, me personally, I think Ed Dodge is gonna want to bring in his own head coach, right? He comes from the Colts. You see that foundation that they built over there. I don't think his thinking. That's just me. I don't think his thinking aligns with Joe Judge's thinking. Um, So, and we had Chris Canty come out, and some things come out that a potential GM candidate for the Giants said that they don't want nothing to do with Judge. So my thing is that if you bring in a new outside GM, you do not deny him a job just because he doesn't want to work with Judge. That's something that set this
I
franchise
agree with
back
that.
for
I agree
how
with
many
that a
years
lot.
now.
We can't hire a GM with some sort of precedented rules or something like that, preset
But then
rules.
then let me ask you this. Let's say the GM does want to work with Judge and Judge falls flat on his face next year. Then
Then
you're gonna
he's
be right.
gone. Then he's
But yeah,
gone.
but the GM gone? Is the new
No,
GM that you hired this year gone?
and that's the situation we're in the first place, right? Let's not forget we're in a cycle in the first place where it's like, all right, if we're gonna give that GM an excuse, it's the same thing for people that are arguing for Judge right now. You realize that, right? Because he was tied to Gelman, and he should not
Yeah.
necessarily be tied to Gelman. You realize that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
before I
but
continue,
my
oh, go ahead, go
okay.
ahead.
Now I was just saying that we will be right back where with the mistakes that we've been making. A lot of Giants fans don't don't want to see that. They say, well, we don't want to be the Jets. Find coaches after 2 years. We don't want to be the Browns. But y'all don't realize that the Jets and the Browns have been doing what we've been doing. Firing a coach, keeping a general manager, firing a general manager, keeping a coach. Right? The Jets did it with Adam Gase. Adam Gase brought in I forgot the general manager's name for the Jets now. But I forgot his name. But the general manager for the Jets now. Um they brought in him, right? Then I'm not saying Adam Gase was the coach. Adam Gase was horrible, one of the worst coaches that we've seen. But they fired Adam Gase, and then you bring in Robert Saleh. And then if the Jets have another bad year, they're gonna fire the general manager. They're gonna keep Robert Saleh, right? So my thing is, it's just like you might as well just fire Gettleman, let go of Judge, and you give this new regime this draft because a lot of people this job is a lot attractive than most people think with 10 just because you have 10 draft picks with 5 in the first 3 rounds. Coaches are going to see that and that's how they're going to want to set their foundation. So that's all I'll say with that.
So
um
let me read a couple comments to you because I don't want to lose them too. The more and more,
oh no, you're fine.
we get through here, right? So Timothy says, Hub Ash, once Joe Judge is fired on Black Monday, will the Giants name? Oh, that's Jim Harbaugh. We're gonna still. I'm still gonna put that off for a little bit later on in the stream, but we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it because he is a relatively big name. You know what I mean? Then we see Edward. Okay, I already read Edward. Judge better get a third year unless an elite GM wants Harbaugh, is what AB is saying. Giants Opinion Sports says, I don't see how you prepare for this many injuries. And you don't prepare for this many injuries, but you could certainly at least try and adapt to it. And you know what? For a while, it just seemed like we weren't, right? We were what, 1-6 before Carolina. And then from week 12 onwards, I don't expect us to win any games, but I expected us to look better than we did. We looked like a team that was unprepared from week 12 onwards, right? That's what I'll say. But Ash, once again, it is the injury point that comes up where I'm like, we did have some of the like one worst injury luck, like by far in the entire NFL.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you had Kenny Galladay, Cadet, like literally all your receivers
In and
except for
out,
Sterling
man.
Shepard.
The medical
I mean,
staff is ridiculous.
even before the season started, Kadarius Toney and Kenny Galladay were dealing with hamstrings with in the preseason. Blake Martinez goes out with a torn ACL. Jabril Peppers goes out with a torn ACL. So I'm not going to sit here and say that this is totally on Judge. I'm not going to say that at all.
And to be fair, we both know where the real problem is. Might as well
Yeah.
just get to it. It's ownership at the end of the day.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, owners can't fire themselves. So
Yeah. And it's I guess John Mayer has to do some soul searching. And by reports, I mean I'm not saying he's going to change his ways. I'm not saying that, but by reports, he wants to do something different than how he has done in the previous times. He wants to go outside for a new GM. He wants
oh
to,
wait, Ash, my bad. I don't mean to interrupt you because I just spotted this comment and I don't want it to last any longer. Because hey, shout out to Anthony. Happy birthday to that man. Hey man, I hope you had a good one,
happy
bro.
birthday, Anthony.
My bad. I saw this a little bit late, but I was focusing on Ash, going through the comments and I saw it. Hope you had a good one. Hope it was enjoyable, man. Wish you many more. And thank you for tuning in on your birthday. I appreciate that. But go ahead, continue there, bro.
Yeah. So my thing was is that it seems like John Mayer wants to change his ways, and I know that's a little hard for a lot of people to understand. Um, by reports, he wants to go outside and get a new GM. Maybe wants to take a step back. But the Giants need somebody that's going to tell John Mayer off and tell them, "Let me do my job." I think so. I think Ed Dodds is a dude like that. I think Jim Harbaugh is definitely a dude like that. Um, I think Joe Schoen is probably a dude like that. So uh, it seems like John Merritt and the fans are getting to him. I feel like he hears the fans and
The
he
thing
hears the
is, though, this is
complaints.
a dangerous slope, Ash. It's not good for a team to always listen to the fans.
Yeah, and I get
It's a
that, but
dangerous slope.
yeah, but ha- can we really can we say that he has in the past? Really? Like, can we say because he, like I said, he's looking. If he does hire an outside GM, that's something that he's changed, right? So, and I get it. You need to have a football mind yourself. Media and fans, they have their own thinking. They just want to make a fool out of you, especially in a big market like New York. They want to find anything that'll get them ratings, that'll get them clicks, that'll get them views, and create headlines, right? So I get that, but I don't know. I just feel like this this one time, I just feel like the fans are right about this right now,
Hmm.
right? And then bring in somebody. I mean, bring in somebody that doesn't listen to the fans. I mean, if they whether they do a good job or not, that's on them, right? But I don't know. I just have a feeling that John Mara, he's feeling the pressure and do he's gonna do what a lot of us want.
Hmm.
And I know
Okay.
that might make a lot of people happy. But the question is whether it's needed or not. I think that's a question.
All right. So, getting to just reading a couple more of these right here. Sober Party got a lot. He said, we have a history of two and done with coaches. Ray Handley, Ben McAdoo, Pat Shermer. Judge is done. Have to do it right this time. Get a new GM and a new head coach, and which is what Ash has been arguing for. Sober Party says, what's more important if you could only change one offensive coordinator, head coach, or GM? Well, I'm going to put it down to offensive coordinator or head coach because, well, Gettleman is gone. But if you could only change one out of offensive coordinator and head coach, which one would you choose?
I and this was a it's kind of hard because this was a good point that was brought up that I heard. Um and don't call any truth to this. This was just a point that I heard and I'm just reiterating this. The Belichick disciples, I guess that's how we label them. They don't really do well with coordinators, right? So I really don't know how valuable a coordinator is to Joe Judge and what she's trying to run. I feel like it's based on his philosophy, his offensive philosophy. And a lot of people don't I mean Hub,
Mm-hmm.
me and you, we've been talking about that for a while. His philosophy, it needs to change on how he wants his offense to be ran. So if that my thing is that he's gonna get an offensive coordinator that agrees with his philosophy. just how John Mara has been.
If we're gonna pay attention to any rumors though, which you have brought up in your arguments, so are we throwing out the rumor that Brian Dable was supposed to be his offensive coordinator before Jason Garrett was forced on him?
I actually haven't heard that.
Are you serious?
I haven't heard that.
That's a pretty old rumor. It's a pretty old one too. And Brian Dable is the exact opposite of what we've seen from Joe Judge this year. Offensive coordinator for the Bills. So does that that has to change what you're saying then if you just heard it?
I guess it does, but I don't know. Like I said, it's new to me, so I'm trying to like take that in.
But no, that's a pretty old one. I'm sure if you even go and Google it right now, it will pop up.
Let me see.
Just look up Brian Dable, Joe Judge.
That's the dude from the Bills, right?
Yep, he's the Bills. John, like they flat out denied an interview with him.
Well, why though? Denied interview. Okay, I see it. Denied interview for Bills Brian Dable for OC job. And this was in this was January 16, 2020.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is back, bro. This is back in 2020, bro. This is when Judge was first hired. So while you process that, right, let me get the super chat. Shout out to Sober Party for the $5 super chat. He says, again, Hub, you run host so well on your channel. Classy, well-spoken as always, bringing the content. We will get up on Halo soon, man. And I'm going to let that play out. I appreciate that a lot, Sober Party. Thank you so much. We definitely going to run Halo soon, man. Thank you for the super chat. But Ash, so how does that? Did you have enough time to think it?
Oh yeah, I was just reading. I was reading the
it's one of many articles, whichever one you're on.
Yeah. I was reading it on Bleacher Report, reported by Ralph Vaciano. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's. I'm not saying there's a lie to it. I'm not saying there's any truth to it. I'm taking it 50-50, as my man Joel would say. But if that was the case, then yeah, I might have to, change my.
Yeah, and you would go let him get an OC.
Yeah, I would let him get an OC. But that's just only if, like I said, like I would just feel like if he gets the GM he wants, like I don't want this to happen, but Kevin Abrams or somebody that's close to him. But if we get an outside general manager, I would not want him to come back just because of the chance of us falling into that cycle, like I previously stated.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me get to the rest of these comments right here. John Spain Sports is telling us the common denominator of all of this is ownership, which we agree with. Unfortunately, all we could do about ownership is talk about them and try to hit them in their pockets by like non-attending games and stuff like that. But that's about the extent of it. AB says if we have a better GM, we're not gonna fire them. Let's see here. Viz says, read my rant. All right, I'm about to read it right now. He says, if we bring in a new GM like Dorsey, who's a good candidate, he's going to want his own coaching staff. So I don't think Joe Judge's coaching job is safe. And with the injuries, it comes down to poor medical staff and conditioning and training staff. We need to wipe the whole organization. Mara is the source of all of this, but I don't think he'll ever sell the team. Viz, I've been saying that for months, especially the medical and training staff part. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I host a Twitter Spaces with Eli Rax on there and Pest. You guys know Pest, PTA Sports. Around, I want to say, week 9, 10, or 11, one of those 3 weeks, I really started getting on the Giants medical staff and their training staff. Because we really do have one of the worst medical staffs in the league. I don't care that they're well-respected or that they're long-tenured. The results speak for themselves. And yes, the turf does play a role in injury, but they play a heavy role in re-injury. Our players go out, they come back, and then they go back out immediately. It's like they don't recover properly, and whatever advice they're being given is wrong. And we got kind of confirmation with the Scott Simonson tweets that he sent out the other day, where he's like, his injury wasn't necessarily misdiagnosed, but they told him it would take 4 to 6 weeks to heal. And now 2 years later, he still isn't fully healed. And he should have gotten surgery 2 years ago when the injury happened, but the team doctors told him not to. So I've been saying for a while, yes, our medical staff is trash. Our training staff, I don't believe our training staff is any good either. I would love a complete clean sweep. A quick thoughts on that, Ash.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I mean, that's going back to even when we had Odell. I mean, how many leg injuries has he had? You know, and Sterling Shepard. You know, we could say Sterling Shepard's injury prone, but can we really think of what how much the medical staff plays a part in that? Maybe rushing him back. I mean, in those earlier years, in like his second year, I remember
We
his
can
second year
definitely
he was out.
say, bro, you know what the strongest example of a bad medical staff is, my guy?
What's up?
How they've dealt with every single one of Daniel Jones's injuries.
Yeah, yeah.
Say what you will about DJ, that man did not have a good medical staff behind him, in my opinion.
Yeah, they let him go out, run himself into defenders, play hero ball, brought him back in, told him, do this and just let him go out and just let him do the same dumb things in terms of protecting himself. So that's definitely something we could say with that. Um, but yeah, the medical staff does need a clean sweep. Um, and I feel like, let's just say if we do give Joe Judge a third year and that happens, I kind of respect. I'll kind of respect Joe Judge a little bit more and kind of take
But
him a
as
little
the
bit
head
more
coach, let's
seriously.
be real. What powers does he have over a medical staff? I don't think that's his thing. I think that's more the owner, is it not? Or like president of football operations or something.
Maybe it is. I don't know the
Yeah, because
politics of
I made a vid today where I included that thing and I asked. I don't think I got a response. I might have to check, but I don't think that's under. It would be weird if that's under the head coach, in my opinion.
is like the scouting and stuff under the head coach or no? Because maybe that's
No,
what I'm
that's
thinking
front
of.
office. That's GM.
Oh,
And
okay.
our scouting staff needs to change too as well. Add in another staff in there.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's one thing. Outside of the GM and the head coach, we have like the worst scouting and the worst medical staff, probably the worst scouting.
Mm-hmm. Sober party, you didn't miss too much from being on. We were literally just talking about the medical staff for a quick second and how kind of bad they've been. Shout out to Rick in here. He says, "Give me one more year at Judge, just one, and I promise he'll turn it around. 8+ wins next year." That's a lot to promise.
Hmm.
That's a lot to promise. Listen, I I don't know. I can't speak for Ash, and so I guess when I'm done, he'll give his opinion on this. But if Judge is back, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be angry. I can see some merit to him being back. I do think the better thing to do would be a clean sweep. But if he's back, there is a way to success, and by success I mean not being terrible. I don't necessarily mean making the playoffs. I mean there's a way to get back on track. That's fixing the O line. That's getting a OC that actually lives in this century. That's getting an edge rusher or somebody else on that defense to make it a bit more formidable. You do those three things. It's not three easy things to do, but you do those three things and Judge is back. I can see a way that we're back on track. What about you, Ash?
Yeah, I could definitely see that, but I just feel like the expectations for him is going to be set a little bit too high because I do think that if he doesn't make the playoffs, I feel like he's fired. Um,
Next year,
that's just me.
if he's
Yeah,
back
next
next
year if
year?
he does,
Okay.
yeah, if he's back next year, they're going to expect him, especially fans. They're going to expect you to make the playoffs, and I feel like if he doesn't make the playoffs, he's fired. That's why another reason why I think we should just do a clean sweep because I don't think we'll make the playoffs next year. Um, at best, I think we'll get 8 wins, and I think that's not good enough to cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally, if you started off 6 wins, then you went down to if you lose this week, you go to 4, and then you're only going to have like really a 2 game and 2 win improvement. You know, a lot of people aren't going to be happy with that. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
And then shout
that's
out
just
to
me.
Nick the Wick in here. I met him at FanFest. If you're gonna be at the game, let me know. I'm telling you, bro, Ash. As soon as the stream is over, I'm making you text or call Pest in the background here, bro. I'm just letting you know. And shout out to some right hand man. That's a name. He says, "What's good?" I'm gonna assume you mistype hub because N and B are in the same place on the keyboard. Otherwise, that'll be very weird. But he says, "What's good, hub? How you been? I've been good, man. How have you been?" And Sober Party says, I agree with AB making a wild card push. I feel like I need to know what you guys are seeing. Like I said, I can see the path to success, meaning we get back on track. I'm sure Ash could see us getting back on track as well.
Hmm.
But making a wild card push, That's a lot. That's a lot.
I
That's a
mean,
lot. That's a lot.
you gotta look at it. I mean, even in the division, I mean, the Eagles have 3 first-round picks this year, and they're in the playoffs. They're gonna get better. Dallas ain't going nowhere. Um, I feel like Washington, you're gonna be
Washington is
competing.
kind of going through the same thing as us right now,
Yeah,
except they're fine with their head coach.
yeah. So, and then you look at the rest of the NFC. Does Sean Payton stay another year, or does he leave? If Sean Payton stays, they're obviously going to get a quarterback. I think if they could get a quarterback, they could, and like if they get somebody like Malik Willis, and he could work with Sean Payton and work out some of his deficiencies, that could be a little bit scary. But then you're gonna have Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's not going nowhere next year. Um, the Rams, the Cardinals.
It's gonna be hard, to put
Yeah,
it
it's gonna be
lightly.
really hard. So that's just me.
Yeah. And now, all right, I think I've delayed it enough or pushed it back enough. Go ahead, let the people know the rumors about Jim Harbaugh, and then let them know your opinion on him. But first, let them know about the rumors.
So if you haven't heard already, and I'm sorry that my connection, I would love to look at the camera
Hmm.
and talk to you,
Just
look
by the
you
way,
guys in
make
the
sure with
face
the
and look at this.
audio, I noticed I'm guessing sometimes you turn away because I see the audio
Oh
dipping
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
do. Yeah,
yeah.
so just be careful of
Um,
that.
yeah, but there are reports or rumors, whatever you want to call it, that Jim Harbaugh is interested in returning to the NFL, and I'm guessing that means he's satisfied what he's done with Michigan so far. So he's interested in returning to the NFL, as reports stated. I think it really broke yesterday, I believe. Um, and then there was a report that he would be, or a rumor, take it with a grain of salt, but he would be intrigued by the Giants' job if it were to become available.
Hmm. And now your opinion of it.
My opinion is if Jim Harbaugh is interested in your job, you fire Joe Judge right away. That's not a debate for me. Um, we're talking about Jim Harbaugh, somebody who really, when he inherited the San Francisco 49ers job, he turned that franchise around. They were looking to be kind of like a they were running the NFC for a while, until he ran into Eli. He coached he coached Andrew Luck in Stanford. And really, a lot of people like to say that he didn't really do anything with Michigan. It took him a while. I want y'all to go look at what Michigan was before he inherited that Michigan job.
And I
Um,
just want to say, we all love Aiden Hutchinson, myself a lot. Who was his
yes.
coach?
Harbaugh, like Authentic said, Harbaugh had no losing seasons with San Francisco. Um, and really, people debate whether he really should have been a Super Bowl champion if it wasn't for the blackout that occurred in the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Um, but I kind of find it weird because Michigan wasn't really that really successful before he inherited the job in 2015. I mean, if you go back, Michigan's in 20 or in the 21st century, Michigan in 2002, 2003, Michigan finished 10-3 both of those years. Then it took them 3 years to have another 10-win season in 2006 at 11-2. Then their next 10-win season didn't occur to 2011 with 11-2. Then they didn't have another 10-win season until Jim Harbaugh inherited the job in 2015, and they finished 10-3 both of those years in 2015, 2016. They had an off year at 8-5. 2018 they went back, rebounded at 10-3.
And Jim Harbaugh, right?
2019.
My bad for interrupting, but
No,
Harbaugh, if
go
I
ahead.
remember correctly, he's the offensive brother, right? Like we all know the other one coaches the Ravens. He's the defensive mind. Harbaugh is the offensive mind, right? Or at least
Yes.
he
I,
yeah, Authentic just said it. He played QB, and then he was coaching. But even though he was an offensive mind, he had great defensive minds on his staff. Vic Fangio, I
yeah,
remember, was his defensive coordinator for those Super Bowl teams, and that 49ers Super Bowl defense was incredible.
yeah. And then 2019, after he went 10-3 in 2018, he went 9-4 And then 2020, the COVID year, you can't really judge that year on him because they only played 6 games and they had a lot of players out for COVID. They had to vacate a lot of games and they finished 2-4. And then in 2021, obviously, we know um, they went 12-2, won the Big Ten championship, and lost. They got blown out by Georgia, and I think that's really because Michigan doesn't really have any. They haven't been in a college football playoff since it really began. They don't have that championship pedigree like programs like Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, LSU have. So, yeah. But he really kind of turned Michigan around, to be honest. He did have some off years, but I mean, he is a proven coach, and that's something that the Giants need. Um, you saw what he did with Alex Smith. Maybe you see some things with Daniel Jones. I mean, I'm not in favor of bringing Daniel Jones back past his 4th year, but maybe he could work some things with Daniel Jones, just like he did with Alex Smith. He's a proven coach, like I said, and he will turn this franchise around. I guarantee you that. Now, whether there's any truth to that, whether it's true, I'm not sure. I'm not calling it, but um if that is true and
And,
he's
and
interested
and
in a new
let me
coach,
nip this in the bud right now. Yeah, I mean, one, everybody is always linked to the Giants, like AB is saying. Every offseason, let's be honest, everybody's always linked to the Giants because it gets clicks, it gets their name more renowned, it gets their name circulated. And two, it seems that every single year that he was at Michigan, there was a rumor saying he's going back to the NFL. So with those two facts in mind, yes, we got to take it with a grain of salt. And I think you said that at the beginning of your explanation as
yeah,
well. We need to take it with a grain of salt because there are two factors here that definitely come into it. But Jim Harbaugh, I don't know if I ever said it on this stream or on somebody else's stream, but I'm pretty sure I might have said it to you before, Ash. He's definitely
mhm,
somebody that I would consider hiring. Like he fits. You know what? I honestly don't have much of a set requirements if we get a new head coach. You know what they are? It's somebody that was a head coach before, somebody that had success being a head coach before, and somebody that had those two things at the NFL level. Because our past three head coaches didn't necessarily have those. Pat Shermer was the only one who was a head coach before, and that was with the Browns when they were the Browns, like the trash Browns, and I don't even know how long he was there. But Ben McAdoo was never a head coach, and of course Joe Judge was never a head coach. Harbaugh fits that bill. Another dude that fits that bill, if we move on from Judge, Jim Caldwell, the only dude to win in Detroit, and he's also offensive mind as well. But yeah, what do you think?
yeah, like definitely. And if you get somebody like a coordinator or something, somebody that has never been a head coach, you're gonna have to give them time. There's an argument that a lot of people make for Joe Judge with Jim Harbaugh. I don't really think he really is gonna need that time because, again, whatever GM, whatever, I feel like this is the year to get a new GM and new coach because you have 10 picks this year, 5 in the first 3 rounds. That is an easy way for a new coach and a new general manager to instill their foundation and to set forward their plans for like the future, right? Um Jim Harbaugh, like I said, he has a proven record, so I don't really think there's really an argument. I don't really think there's an argument against bringing in Jim Harbaugh. Like
There
I said,
is a small one, or I don't know, small, but it's not a big one football wise, but it's definitely an argument, which is that he can be a head case, and we're not sure how that's gonna mix with New York
yeah,
media. And me and you know that these reporters be asking some very stupid questions sometimes.
but
So
maybe,
yeah,
but eh, am I
like I'm
wrong
saying, I
for
don't know
saying
how
this?
much big of a factor it is. It's not necessarily a football reason, but it is
But
a reason, I guess.
am I wrong for saying this though? Maybe we need a head case. Maybe we don't need a yes man. Maybe we need somebody. Like I said, maybe we need somebody that's gonna tell Mara off, tell him to go piss off somewhere. Maybe we need somebody that's gonna tell the media off when they ask dumb questions.
Hmm.
Like Authentic said, maybe we need somebody that doesn't. I'm not gonna use that word, but doesn't really give a s. Right? I feel like we just need to change the tradition. We need to change the traditional ways in what we're doing
I mean, yeah,
in
the
the
Giants way is
direction of
dead.
the franchise. Yeah. Like
Giants way
I'm
been
not
dead.
like I said this earlier. I'm like to hell with the Giants way, to be honest. To
Hmm.
hell with it. We need to change that.
Sam Weber
So
says, how long do you think the Giants will be in this mess? Sam, I don't think anybody can answer that question. I don't know. It could be anywhere from like 1 year to the next 10 year. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It
yeah,
depends on what they do in the offseason. And even then we won't be sure. Because like me and Ash were saying, there is a way, it's a very slim path and a slim chance, but there is a way if Judge is kept, the team could get back on track. And of course, there is another way if we get rid of him and replace him with somebody that the team can get back on track. It's just there's no way to tell right now how long more we're gonna be in here, to be honest with you.
yeah. Like I said, look around the league. Teams turning around in 1 year.
Hmm.
The Bengals, they seem to turn it around. Turn their, I mean, the Bengals offensive line. Like I said previously, you know they turned that offensive line around really, and really most of that is for Joe is because of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T Higgins. But that offensive line almost ended Joe Burrow's career in his rookie year, right? Um, that offensive line, tore Joe Burrow's MCL when they played Washington. We saw pics in training camp where I keep saying Joe Judge. Joe Burrow was getting chased by that whole Bengals line in practice, running for his life. So, um, the only offensive line they really replaced was Bobby Hart, I believe. Um, Look at the Chargers. The only alignment on the Chargers that they initially drafted themselves was Rashawn Slater, and he's a rookie. All
Hmm.
the other four linemen on that line aren't like they're not drafted by them. They're from other teams, right? So my thing about that is it's just like you see a lot of teams turning around in a year. So if you bring in the right people, or if Joe Judge has the right direction, like a lot of people say, you could definitely turn around in a year. I mean, this team has talent. It has talent. I think we can all agree on that. Outside of the offensive line, this team does have talent. They have talented players. It's just whether they're used right and like just their health issues, to be honest,
Hmm.
and their coaching. So
Uh, and then the thing is another thing that you brought up on Twitter. I thought you were about to bring it up in your tangent just now because it relates, which is that we don't need or teams can build an offensive line without constantly throwing high round picks at them, which is true.
yeah,
I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I think we both also agree the Giants ain't one of those teams.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Unless we're
yeah,
drafting first round players, I don't have any faith in us getting a good offensive lineman. And maybe my faith would change if we do what we said earlier, which is scrap the scouting staff, right? Maybe it
yeah.
changes if that happens. But I don't see any faith in the Giants drafting a good offensive lineman out of like the first round, which is crazy to think about if when you really think
Hey,
about it.
yeah, and when I say that, I'm not coming at like people that believe in that or people that want to do it. I'm more so coming at the franchise because it's really disgusting that we really are forced to the point that we have to spend two picks in the top 10 to fix an offensive line. It's disgusting, right? And I get it, the trenches is most important, but I would love to be able to draft somebody like Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton looks like he's going to be a dog. I would love to draft uh uh um I would love to draft N'Kobe Dean. I would love to trade back and draft a receiver. I would love it. But our trenches aren't, they aren't fixed. And like I said, it's disgusting that we've been forced by this franchise to go into thinking that we need, right, or we have no choice because we don't have faith that we can get a player in the third round and he could be solid, or we can get a free agent offensive lineman and he could do production for us. That we just need. It's best for us to. I never said that I wanted to draft another receiver. That's not what I said. I said I would love to draft a receiver if our offensive line was good. But yeah, um, it's disgusting that we are forced to the fact that we have to take two offensive linemen like a Neal and a Linderbaum to fix
Hmm.
our line, right? So yeah,
Giants Opinion Sports says Oh no, well, all things saying, Burrow's been sacked 50 plus time. Their line is still bad. You're right. There's no debate though. Burrow is like several levels above Daniel Jones. I think we could all agree
Yeah.
on that. That man, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, I will never get over. I will always say this. Man, he was supposed to be a Giant. That's
Yep.
ridiculous. They look so good in their sophomore years, man. Giant Speaking Sports says Harbaugh will be fired within 2 or 3 years, in my opinion. Maybe he could get something going in that time period, though. Why do you say he's gonna get fired in 2 or 3 years? Is something bad happening in Michigan? Like, what's up?
I mean, they just went to the college football playoff. Are you talking about? He's talking about fired in Michigan, or like fired if he was on the Giants?
If he was on the Giants, I could believe that because Mara. He's not a dude that would take to somebody talking back. I feel like he just doesn't like people talking back to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but honestly, if you hire him, right, and if you hire him, right,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes to you and he's like, just let me, like, just I'm gonna do what I want to do. You gonna fire him right as soon as you hired him? I mean, is John Mara really that crazy? And I'm like legitimately asking.
I
I'm not
mean, bro,
saying like
I
for the
wouldn't put
side.
it
I'm just
past
saying.
him, man.
Like if you hired Jim Harbaugh, right, and he has a great interview, says he's gonna be a yes man, and as soon when you hire him, he goes to free agency. He says, "I'm doing what I'm doing." You gonna fire him like a month after he's hired?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. That's just something I always thought of.
I mean, not a month, but yeah,
Well,
I get where
like,
you're coming from. But I don't know, man. This is a real topic, bro. How crazy is he?
no, no, I'm saying like, let's say Jim Harbaugh gets hired, right? And he says he's gonna, do what you want to do. And then John Mara says he's gonna let the GM take what he wants. So Jim Harbaugh's just like, no, I'm taking this player, right? And then they take the player that Jim Harbaugh wants. Are you gonna fire him because he defies you and he ran a draft, or he signed somebody like if you had a similar player to Russell Okung, and their agent called your brother a hole or whatever he called him, and you go ahead. Well, I guess that's not in his power, but the general manager agrees with you, and they hire him and they sign him anyway. Are you going to fire them, like in free agency? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've been thinking of, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was like a general manager candidate, I know how John Mara is. I would just advertise myself like I'm a yes man and I'll do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Anything else from the chat?
That typing is a little.
The typing is a little loud. It's because it's really
Nah,
close to my mic.
I'm messing.
I mean, if you
You
could
really
hear it
getting
though,
busy.
I had to reply to somebody real quick.
I like the sound of typing.
Why?
I don't know.
Why you say it with that voice, yo? The way you said, I don't know, bro. Oh man. Anyway, getting back to topics that we should actually be talking about with the Giants, and let's get off of Joe Judge for a second and on to Dave Gelman. From we referenced the stuff that we saw. How much of it do you believe? How much of like him being that dude that doesn't let anybody else have control in the backstage do you believe?
I believe it all. I'm not gonna lie. I believe it all. Um, I mean, he just gave me that vibe to when he was when he was hired. I mean, you even saw Dave Gettleman make like smart remarks, like in the draft process when he with the interviewers and stuff. Um, and then you know, I'm this is something I'm going to touch on my first episode. If it wasn't for Jason Garrett, the Giants would not have selected a single offensive lineman in the first round since they drafted Eric Flowers. Just think about that. Not a single lineman, not a single offensive lineman. Andrew Thomas was the only offensive lineman that they selected since Eric Flowers, and
In the
it's
first round, you
rumored,
mean?
yeah, in the first round, and it's rumored to say that Dave Gettleman didn't even want to take Andrew Thomas. That was Jason Garrett had to yell for them to take Andrew Thomas, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, even like now I'm in Carolina, North Carolina. Uh, a lot of Carolina fans kind of said some similar things about Dave Gettleman when he was with Carolina as well, because like um, a lot of people don't, or some Carolina fans they didn't realize that Dave Gettleman was a GM because a lot of teams they're just focused on their own team. So when I told like this one fan that my coworker, he was like, "Oh, Dave Gettleman," and he just let me have it. Like he just let me, he just told me a lot of stuff, and basically it was similar to what stuff coming out about you know about Dave Gettleman now. I lost my words for a sec. But Dave Gettleman, and apparently there's a sign. He has a sign that says he no a holes allowed or something like that
Yeah.
on his desk. But yeah, Dave Gettleman, he just always gave me that vibe. So
Let's
he
see
always gave me
here.
that vibe.
So, oh no, so pardon. Why would you even suggest this? He said it would be interesting to see if the Giants get a QB with their first pick. All right, Ash, can we agree that this is not the year to draft QB, or you like maybe?
I'm not gonna lie. The only quarterback that I would draft is Malik Willis, but I wouldn't draft him in the first round. I would draft him in the second round because one, you don't pay him that money that a first round, especially a top 10 player, do, right? Or a top 10 player, gets. And then secondly, you're really not. You can sit him for a year. You're not really taking much of a risk. Um, my thing about Malik Willis, he's the only person in the draft to me that has such a high potential. He has such a high. He's either going to be a boom or bust, right? And he offers you something that you haven't had with your team in years. Literally, like even before the Chris Sims era. You know, um, I don't think the Giants will take him. We don't have to get into to all that, but he's the only quarterback that I'll take. But I don't think you should take a quarterback in the first round. So
I just think like just build the lines. I don't even think we should worry about QB this year. Worried about the year after, my opinion.
yeah, um,
And then let's see here. AB saying if Harbaugh was running the show like that, he would make them the GM. So Harbaugh would be coaching GM. No one would be able to overturn the whole team.
hmm,
Does anybody
yeah.
remember what
Um,
it was like when he was in San Fran? Was that the case? I can't remember. And that,
well, I do
yeah.
know he did have a staff with him. Actually, let me look it up right now. But I know he did have a staff with him, and that's something that I'm also um interested in doing because, like, I don't know, some reason Giants fans, when we bring up the debate of Joe Judge being fired, they're like, if Joe Judge is fired, Patrick Graham is going with him too. Like Patrick Graham is a god, and he's like the only good defensive mind in the whole NFL.
And Patrick
Um,
Graham has his faults that I've spoken on multiple
yeah.
times. Authentic says he could convince me into getting a QB by draft. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty my draft stuff doesn't really change that much from when I actually no, I take that back. It
So,
definitely does change. But I will say no,
so
I mean Daniel could be the stopgap. Like I think Daniel is the stopgap this year if we're talking about stopback QBs.
yeah, and I actually agree with Authentic saying because you can sit if Malik, I don't think he's gonna fall to the second round, but if you do draft Malik Willis in the second round, let's say we did, you can sit Malik Willis for the whole year, right? Have Daniel Jones play out his fourth year. You don't pick up Daniel Jones' fifth year option. You let him go, and then you have Malik Willis for the second year. Then you have your offensive line built because let's just say we take an offensive lineman, and even with somebody like Malik Willis, you don't really need a right tackle. Like you don't really need to have somebody like an Evan Neal with Malik Willis because he's that type of player. He's mobile. But my thing is that let's say you get to Malik Willis. I mean, not Malik Willis. You get Evan Neal.
Real quick,
Tyler
going back to
Linderbaum.
the right tackle thing though, we I feel like we keep forgetting the worst part of the Giants' offensive line isn't pass protection; it's the run blocking. So we definitely need a
Yeah,
right tackle. Like the run
yeah,
blocking has been even worse than the pass protection.
yeah. Um, yeah, but my thing is like, and I'm with a lot of people. I think I would, my direction would to take were to take a quarterback next year. But the thing is, and Authentic brought up a good point when me and him were talking, is that
Are you
you
there? Oh, I thought you
you
cut out
might
for a
yeah,
second.
no, I'm here. You might not be in a position to draft a quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next year. Like let's say we go 500. Um and I get it, quarterbacks do fall. Like I mean Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson fell. I mean, it's just about the right place at the right time.
For the
But
sake of conversation, though, right, and to keep this going a little bit, what about like what's preventing us from trading up in 2023 if that's the case?
and that's my that was my argument against that. If my team is built right, I have no problem with trading up for a quarterback. I don't care if it's for a first. I have no problem trading up for a Bryce Young if he fell to like pick 5 or CJ Stroud if he fell. So that's my thing. Like we say, like the Rams. I mean, if you have a coach that is confident in his philosophy, confident in his direction of the team, you don't really care, and you're confident. He's confident in his ability to find playmakers in later rounds. I don't give a damn. I don't really care. I don't give a damn if you're risking anything to trade up for your franchise guy. Because if he's the guy, he's going to be with your franchise for 10, 15 years. So,
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you done? I
but yeah,
can't. I can't tell
that's
if
all
you're
I had
cut
to.
out or if you're not cut out, man.
That's all I had to say.
Yeah. Um. Well, first of all, if DJ throws 30 touchdowns, we got to put it into context. All right. If he throws 30 TDs, I'm still not sure if I'm re-signing him. One, two, and this is in the situation that if we did take Malik Willis, wouldn't even necessarily say you wasted a QB pick. That might actually help it out. You know what I'm saying? That means he had a good quarterback ahead of him. Maybe he did take away some things. I don't know. I wouldn't say it would be a waste, but if DJ does throw 30 TDs, man, I'm still not re-signing him. I'm sorry. It would take a lot for me to re-sign him. I got to see a lot more. What was his completion percentage? How many turnovers did he
Yeah.
have? How many yards did he have? What kind of offense were we running? Like, were we still a run-heavy offense? Were we still a pass-heavy offense? What's the deal here?
And yeah, I mean, if you're wasting a second round pick, I mean, it's not really a wasted pick to me. Especially for a quarterback, because one, you can get that back. To be honest, or not, or something similar to that. You could get something similar to that if you trade him away. Um, my thing, and especially with Daniel Jones, just like okay, we have 3 years where we don't know what he is, and then he has one good year. Now all of a sudden, we just give him the keys to the franchise. No, no, I'm not doing that.
Were
I
you
was done.
done?
I was done talking. Yeah, I
Repeat
know.
that.
I'll be
Repeat
ending.
that. My bad. Repeat
I'll be
that.
I'll be ending my sentences weird, but
Yeah.
my thing was like with Daniel Jones, it took 3 years just to see whether or not he's the guy, and then after 1 year, we just want to jump the gun and just give him the keys to the franchise. No, I'm not doing that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing that at all.
And I'm with Bark Nasty for sure. Where I'm like, hey, I'll support at least as long as it makes sense to support any QB that the franchise has. But I don't know if I necessarily take one this year. But what would you do in the draft? And shout out to Floyd Samuels in here. What would you do with your first
Um,
5 picks that you were mentioning earlier?
Shout out to Floyd. Like I get what you're saying, but then again, Justin Fields lost the job to Jake Fromm, and he had to transfer. I mean, Malik Willis transferred I think it's after his freshman year. You know, Joe Burrow lost the starting job to Dwayne Haskins. We can't really bring that up as a legitimate
Yeah, we're
argument.
talking like they're starting their careers at college. That's something completely different.
Yeah, but with the draft, like I said, me personally, if 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 all the stuff about us not being able to replace this offensive line for 10 years, I would take either one offensive lineman, whether that's Linderbaum or Neal or Akeem Kwanu, and then I would take an edge or a defensive player. That's just where I've been at, because I feel like that defensive player can help a lot, even somebody like a Kyle Hamilton, because then again, you are losing. I mean, I don't know if Logan Ryan's going to be back, and then again, he's kind of washed. Um, Jabril Peppers, he's coming off a torn ACL.
Is
You
Kyle
have Blake
Hamilton the
Mark,
safety?
yeah, out of Notre Dame.
If I were to take a defense player, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd go one of two positions, right? And this if we don't have a shot at Hutchinson or Thibodeau, I'd take either another edge, whoever edge 3 or 4 is gonna be at that pick, or
Mhm.
a linebacker. I feel like linebacker one might still be available with our second first round pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Middle
Yes.
linebacker, that is.
Yeah. Yeah. My thing with that is that yeah, and like I said, take a linebacker like N'Kobe Dean out of Georgia. I mean, he looked like a dog in that Georgia Michigan game. I mean, he was hawking down dudes. Um, and then obviously uh, if Kayvon Thibodeau or Aiden Hutchinson are there, that's not a question. I'm taking them. Um, Give me 1 second, Kush.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau, you guys know last year I had a little joke with Diggy going on saying we need to sabotage the Senior Bowl game. We need to sabotage the what you call it, the draft combine, anything related to Jamar Chase, so that Jamar Chase would drop to the Giants. That was a joke me and Diggy had going for the entirety of the draft season because Jamar Chase was like the best wide receiver in that class, and we're obviously seeing it currently. And I would be like, if I want a wide receiver, I want him. Obviously, towards the end of it, I'm like, we're not getting Chase. He's going early. But I kind of want to do the same thing with Aiden Hutchinson. This man is like probably going to be the first overall pick. We need to go and sabotage Michigan's pro game. We need to go
Mhm.
make sure his laces are loose at the combine. We need to make sure that he has the wrong size cleats everywhere. Anything to make this man drop, bro.
I mean, to be honest, I mean Aiden Hutchinson. A lot of players are. I mean, even off of that one play where he got bodied by the off Georgia offensive tackle, they were just coming at him. So I could just see probably they're saying his stock might drop because I don't know. They might label him as not being able to perform a good games and big games. But that's kind of where I'm at with the first two picks. But I feel like it would be right to just take two offensive linemen. One of them being Linderbaum and one of them being a tackle. And then in the second, you could take a linebacker or an edge because I feel like the linebacker can help the edge position out a lot too. Um, but and then the third round, you have you have two picks in the third round. I was saying this, I might want to get a tight end in the third round, to be
Oh, I,
honest.
I want to ask you why, because I feel like getting a running back in the third would probably be something I do instead of a tight end.
That was actually what I was gonna. I was gonna take a tight end and a running back in the third round.
Really? In the
Yes.
third? So I'm at a point where I'm like, even if we get two linemen in the first, I'd still probably, because going
Yeah.
back to our depth, right? I'd still probably take another one. So I'll probably use one of those third
Mhm.
round picks on it. But I
Yeah.
really want a running back in the third
Yeah.
round. I
And
really do.
a guy that I've been watching because I'm like I said, I'm an Ohio State fan, so I pay attention to a lot of Big Ten football. But Hassan Haskins, I mean, that
Is
dude
he
is a
related to
monster. But
Dwayne Haskins?
nah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Running back,
But
right?
yeah, running back. He had 5 touchdowns in one game against, I think it was 5 or 6 against Penn State, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had I'm not sure. I gotta don't hold me on that. But he's been falling to like the sixth round. I don't know why. He's been falling to like sixth round in some mocks, or the fifth round in some mocks. But he was a guy that I wanted to take. I would love for the Giants to do because he'll seem like the perfect 1-2 punch with Saquon, and then a tight end like Trey McBride. A lot of people have been raving about him, and I feel like he's gonna go in the second. But if he falls to the third, I definitely want to take him in the third. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie.
I will say
But
two back-to-back comments here that make a lot of sense to me. One of them is, I agree with Floyd. He says I'd rather have a tight end because all the tight ends seem to come out in the third. That's crazy, but true. Like a lot of successful tight ends in the NFL were picked in the third round. It's ridiculous. And then DB says if we take Linderbaum, him by himself would make Saquon elite, and that's what I was referring to earlier, right? The run
oh yeah,
blocking
because
is way
Michigan
worse than the pass blocking. So if we could fix that line, and if Saquon could stay healthy, then and he continues what we
is
saw this past Sunday, then I could see that. I think I could definitely see
is
that.
is a Michigan State running back coming out as well. Kenneth Walker is Kenneth Walker because he's another dude I like. Kenneth Walker is a beast.
Hmm.
Um, but Hassan Haskins ain't no joke either. Um, Hassan Haskins ain't no joke. But if Trey McBride is on the board, I'll go Trey McBride and an offensive lineman for depth, and then I'll take a running back in like the fourth or fifth round.
Hmm.
That's me.
Yo, how old is Kenneth
But
Walker, bro? Why does he look so old? I'm looking at him on Google Images. This man looks like he's 40.
that he's Okay, so Kenneth Walker is entering the NFL draft. The running back out of Iowa State as well. He's a oh my god. This running back class is kind of underrated, but yeah, I would definitely want to get drafted a running back. I feel like it would really be a failure. It would really be something that I would take away as a negative from the draft if we don't at least draft a running back. And really out of those three. Because I
Mm-hmm.
really want Kenneth Walker or Hassan Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
But
Shout out to Joseph Balby, man. He says won't be here for long, but next Thursday starting driving school. Oh no, he'll
oh my
he'll be
god.
back. He was doing driving school. Yo, speaking of driving, I've been having my friend teach me so I could finally go get my license. I took like a break because of like school and finals. I gotta start back soon, man. I gotta now, especially now that I'm 21. I get the 21 license, which is different.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's different in Carolina, but like they changed
well,
the way the license is if you're under 21.
I got my license and because I'm initially from Delaware,
Mm-hmm.
Dover, Delaware. So I got my license at 16. But
Mm-hmm.
I like when you told me you didn't have a license, I was like, "What the hell? Can you just
I don't
not
need one.
drive?"
No,
But that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. You don't need one.
well, it's both of them, right? Obviously, I don't know how to drive because I never went to learn about it. But it's not
No,
necessary, in my opinion, if you live in New York City.
yeah, no, I didn't mean like you can't drive. I meant like, are you like, have you tried and you just
Oh, you cut out there. I'm pretty sure you cut out that time. Are you there? Oh no, we lost Dash Money, guys. I'm pretty sure that we lost him. Unfortunate. Went a good amount of time too. That was like an hour 21.
I
Crazy.
think I'm back.
Oh, you're back? Okay then. You cut out, so you're gonna need to stay back whatever you were staying.
Yeah, I think I'm back. If you hear me, just let me know.
Can you
But
not hear me?
yeah, a lot of people from where am I back?
Ash, can you hear me?
I know. I just my Wi-Fi. Listen. So we had a snowstorm down here,
Yeah.
and my Wi-Fi has been going in and out. So it just went out, and I had to reconnect again.
Oh
But
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no.
yeah,
So basically, restart whatever you were gonna say with
yeah.
driving.
Basically,
Yeah. Somebody say you got blocked by Linderbaum.
but like where I'm from, like if you're like 21, like I said, you get your driver's license at 16. If you're 21, um, if you don't have your driver's license, that just basically means like you tried, but you just can't drive, right? Like you just not a good driver. Um, but yeah, like in New York, you can literally walk everywhere.
Yeah.
Like
You could, and the thing is, even the long distances, you'll be walking for a while, and it doesn't feel that long. And of course, there's subway and buses like all over the
yeah,
place.
and literally like so many parts of New York have been like modernized. Like where my family of my Puerto Rican side, they live in Manhattan, and I haven't been in New York in like
What part of
6, 7
Manhattan? Do you
years.
know?
I think it's 103rd Street.
Okay.
Exactly, 103rd
East or
Street, something like
west?
that. I think East. I
Okay.
think East. But yeah, that last time I remember, like they didn't really have much like around there. Like they had a lot of corner stores. They didn't really have stuff. And then my grandma told me that they just built a mall, like a 3-story mall by there, right?
There's a
So
mall
like
by
they
there. Hold up, I gotta look
yeah.
at this.
So like don't take it, don't like uh hold it
Cause
against me,
that's
but I don't know.
that's not Upper East Side. That's like by Yorkville ish. Is it still counted as Upper East Side? I'm not sure. Either way,
I
is there a
don't
mall
know,
around
man.
here?
I don't know, bro. It might not be. It's in the city. It's in the city.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't been there in a long time, so I've forgotten like the exact place. But all I remember is a 100 something street. That's all I
Hmm.
remember. But yeah, they've like modernized a whole lot of places, and so you could literally walk anywhere. You don't really need a car. And I kind of wish I was in the city, but I kind of don't because like the noise and stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah,
And then, hey, yo, shout out to Joseph in here. Shout out to Authentic. He gotta head out. Thank you for
all
stopping
right, bro.
by, man. Have a good one. It was good chopping up with you. He says, before I get to that, though, was there anything else? Let's
Nah,
see.
nah, nah. Oh, you talking
Oh,
about
yeah, I'm
chat?
talking about the chat. Yeah. Floyd says, that's not the Lower East Side, bro. 103rd? Are you crazy? Somebody said that's the Lower East Side.
Like
Bro,
I said, don't take my
the
word for it
Lower
because
East
I haven't.
Side is like not in the hundreds. I'll say that.
Damn,
If
I'm
from north to
still
south,
broke.
that's where it starts. North to south, the streets. Um, Let's see here. Floyd was saying, I think Tyler Linderbaum and the best tackle will be the best option. Sign a vet backup like Nick Mullins to test Jones. You know
Hell
what?
no. I'm sorry. I'm
Listen,
sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm fine
Nick
with him being
Mullins?
the stopgap, bro. Let him be the stopgap and get your QB in 2023, man.
Nick Mullins? You saying you're fine with Nick Mullins being the stopgap?
No, DJ.
Oh, I was about to say.
But then he also put Teddy Bridgewater in. I'm like, Teddy Bridgewater wouldn't challenge Jones. He would take the job from him. I'm sorry, Giants fans,
Yeah.
all right? I'm sorry. Teddy B would
Teddy
take the job
Bridgewater.
from Daniel.
Hell yeah. I'm not gonna lie. And that's no disrespect to to Daniel. Teddy Bridgewater is just that type of competitor.
Mm-hmm.
You know? He's not he unless you have somebody like a Drew, like how he was in the Saints, like a Drew Brees, or a proven quarterback. If you still have a question at quarterback, he's taking that job from you. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's facts.
Oh, that's all you had to say on it?
Yeah.
I bet. Let's see here, because we're rounding down towards the end of the stream anyway, guys. So I'm just gonna answer questions for the last 5 minutes. We're at 125 right now. We usually go for 130. AB says getting a license is useful. Stay in the city is boring if you are there all the time. What, bro? If you live in New York, AB, you need to explore the city more. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That traffic is ridiculous. I don't want to. I'd rather you honestly. At some points, it would be better for you to walk than to drive, just because of
Not even that,
traffic.
but him saying being in the city all the time is boring, bro. There's 5 whole boroughs to explore. I don't even know if I'm ever gonna go over to Staten Island because I don't even count that as a borough. That's a whole New York thing. But you got 5 whole boroughs to explore, my guy. And I haven't even explored the entirety of Queens and all the food places that we have out here. I don't know how you get bored unless you're talking about literally only Manhattan, and even then, Manhattan's a small island, but they got a lot of stuff to do. But like, if you're talking about only Manhattan, my guy, you need to go explore the other 4 boroughs that are in New York City. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
Hopefully, with this degree, and if I get like a good sports analyst or sports journalist job, and I get to be in New York, that's somewhere that I do want to like stay in. Because a lot of
I mean, I've been to other states, AB, but like I still don't see. I've been to a state. I've been to what state is Washington? Yo,
are you? Yo, stop. Yo, I'm about to leave.
Bro.
No, you just made me mad.
I'll say this. I've technically been through like every state on the East Coast because I took the train down right to Miami. But I've been to Florida, been to Connecticut. Where is Harvard at, bro? Is that also Connecticut? I've been there. Been to Jersey before, obviously, to go to MetLife and stuff. I've been to Pennsylvania before. There's one of them around the Middle East Coast that I've been to.
I didn't get a sober party. I'm still in my second year, but I'll remember it for when I do. But so I want to ask you, what state is Washington D.C. in?
Bro,
there's no way you're taking this long to answer that.
Listen, it's not a state, right? It's like they took land from 2 other states or something and made it into its own thing, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's technically not part of a state.
No, it's a state.
No. I'm about to look this up right now. I'm pretty sure Washington, D.C., bro. Washington, D.C.
It's called District of Columbia, but it's
it's technically not part of a state or something. I'll look this up right now. Is Washington part of a state?
What is Joseph on?
What?
I don't think it's his comments.
Shout out to Joseph. He said he's from the ghetto East New York in the projects. What do you know about that? Joseph, aren't you in Carolina as well, my guy?
Yeah.
I know about that. I don't know if you know about that. Oh, yeah. See, it says Washington, D.C. isn't in a state, bro. It's a district. District of Columbia.
But it's inside of a state, though.
Oh, okay. If it's inside, I'm going to say Maryland, right? But it's not part of a state.
That's what I was asking you.
Okay, my bad. I thought you were actually asking, like, yo, is it part of one? I don't know. Baltimore's not far from there.
Yeah, Baltimore is not. Baltimore is actually in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
It's like culturally, it's not a part of Maryland, but technically, it's a part of Maryland.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Baltimore people don't want to be associated with like DMV.
Why?
I don't know why.
You
I
keep
don't know
turning
why.
away from your mic, bro. Your thing is super slow right now.
No,
I can barely hear you.
I was looking for something. My fault.
Yeah.
But Baltimore people don't want to be associated with DMV people. I
Oh,
don't
my
know
bad.
why.
Because I just figured out Massachusetts is another one. I was thinking about states I went to. Massachusetts is another one I've been to. Go ahead. My bad.
I've been to Florida, now North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. Um, since I don't live in Delaware, I guess I say Delaware, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I want to go to Colorado so bad. So bad.
I want to go to Tennessee. I want to go to Tennessee,
For what?
California. Bro, Tennessee, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. Tennessee is, bro.
You know, it's funny you mentioned
it's-
that. My friend, he just went to Tennessee for a couple days. A couple of my friends, actually. They asked me to go, but I was like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't even know if I have the funds for that, my guy. Like, I'm still recovering from Miami, low-key. But I was like, what are you going to go do in Tennessee? So apparently they have really good hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken. And one of the things that actually interested me, if I ever get the chance to go, I'll probably go and see, is that they have a replica of the Greek, like, Parthenon down there, which is crazy. They have like a full-size replica. I would love to go see that because I'm a big like Greek like mythology buff and stuff like that. So yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry.
Yo, somebody get Joseph, bro.
Yo, he's a
Yo,
weirdo, yo.
He says, chopped cheese for Christmas, the Aki way, I'm homeless. You've been on TikTok too much. Nobody says the Aki way in real life. I'm gonna let you know that right now. I've seen that TikTok.
Oh, I've also been to Alabama. I've been to because I went on an HBCU tour. I've been to Alabama and I've been to Georgia. I've been in Atlanta. I want to go back to Atlanta. And then
I really want to go to Colorado. I'll add Tennessee onto the list. I want to go to Tennessee as well.
I want to go to Texas. I
definitely want to. My friend lives in Dallas now, so I would definitely want to go visit him sometime. Texas would be cool.
My uncle lives in San Antonio. I want to go to Denver. I just want to feel what the they said like.
Yeah, bro, that's Colorado, bro. Yeah, I want to go for the Rockies. To be honest with you, I would love to see the Rocky Mountains in person.
Yeah, and Arizona. To hell with it. I just want to visit all 50 states except for Utah and Wyoming. No, wait a minute. There's a state that has like a lot of paranormal activity in it.
Why would what it was. That's actually a lot of states, bro.
But there is like a state that like is a section in this state, like a certain city or town that literally has like it's literally haunted.
I don't know. But you know where I want to go just to make sure it's real, bro?
Where?
There's a couple of states that I'm just like, yo, who lives there? There's got to be like 20 people living in the entire state. Idaho, Wyoming, and North Dakota, bro.
North Dakota.
There's like 20 people that live there combined. Gotta be.
No, I don't want to go to South Carolina for personal reasons. I don't want to go to none of the yeehaw states except for Atlanta.
You listed Tennessee and you've been to Alabama. I'm sorry, you've been to a couple of yeehaw states, bro.
Listen, Alabama,
I'm just gonna say, bro. Did you know Tennessee is where the Klan was formed? I'm just gonna put that out there.
But I want to be in a city. I want to be in a city in Tennessee. Like I just want to try the food. I just want to go and just get out. That's what I want to do.
I want to go to Tennessee so I could meet a woman and be like. What'd you just say, bro? What? Repeat what you just said.
Ravi?
Yo, you do a good Scooby impression. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That's part of what got me so cracked up in the reaction to that that Chicago game, bro. But I want to go to Tennessee, bro. Yo, say it again, bro. Say it again. Say it again.
Oh, zoink, Scoob.
No, that's not it, bro. That's not nearly as good.
I said it again.
Nah, bro, say Raggy again. Come on, man. You gotta say it again.
Ready? Ready?
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even get to get my joke out. I was about to say, I just
Yo.
want to go to Tennessee so I could be somebody and be like, you're the only 10 I see. Now it doesn't even hit because you have a great Scooby-Doo impression, bro.
I mean, I don't think that was gonna hit
Bro, it was just supposed to be a
anyway.
joke. Like,
I know, but I don't think it was gonna hit. That joke was kind of not it. So I don't mean to ruin your thunder or anything, but
nah, it's been ruined, so it is what it is. It is
you
what
know,
it is.
it's cool.
Hey, but on the bright side, we're at the end of this podcast episode, guys. Thank you all for sticking through with us. Make sure you go into the link down below. Into the description with the links down below to Ash's Twitter and his rebranded YouTube page. You can see the logo right now. The Get Back with Ashton Griffith. Check him out. He's gonna definitely get to start working on a couple of things soon. I know for sure one of the upcoming podcasts is going to be a kind of a big collaboration that includes myself. I won't say who else, but it's going to be a really big one of Giants YouTubers to look forward to towards the, I guess, mid or end of January, one out of the two. So make sure you do that. I want to give a shout out to everybody that was in here. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the podcast. Like I said, so KB's going to be busy for kind of an indefinite amount of time. Hopefully he'll be back by like February or something like that because of his work. So I'm just going to have a good amount of guest hosts on. Next week, I have people lined up. Just have to decide when they're coming on. So I said I have Lauren lined up. I have Nate lined up. I think Nate might be who's coming on next week. I have the Dave Gettleman account from Twitter lined up. And hopefully in the future I could get Vibes from Twitter lined up as well. But I do have a good amount of people here. Any last thoughts before we go offline, Ash?
Nah, man. Thank you for having me on. Everybody in the chat, y'all have been good company. I've been looking at the chat like off my phone all night, and it really took a a step up with Vise and Joseph in here. Towards the end, I don't know what's wrong with them young bucks, but
Listen, I saw a comment from Joseph that I wasn't gonna read. But I saw
yeah,
the other ones, the New York ones. I saw another one that I was like, yo, Joseph, he been spending too much time with Vizette, bro. That's all I'm
yeah,
gonna say to
yeah.
that. And shout out
But
to Calvin in here, by the way, as well.
what's up, Calvin? But yeah, like I said, it's my rebranded channel. I'm gonna get to that really quickly. Like I said, I should be putting out some content this week. Um, that is. And then yeah, we have a big collaboration that's coming out. It's gonna be something that a lot of people enjoy. I'll say that. So yeah, if you wanna, see what that is, make sure to go subscribe to me because that's gonna be out probably I don't want to make any guarantees, but probably next week or in a couple of weeks too. So make sure you guys go subscribe to me. Um, if not, if not, you don't have to. I'm just saying, make sure you do. And yeah, I don't got nothing else to say. Thank you for having me on, Hub. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, man. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in. That's it for now.